Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Sunday, November 16th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith with you, ready to break down the Sunday card. We've got 4 games on tap tonight. We actually had a game earlier today. You didn't miss anything, trust me. Pittsburgh 4-0 against Nashville. I didn't even bet it, and that's rare for me that I have a game I don't even bet, but I had even no interest in betting that. I don't think I won a bet when Pittsburgh played Nashville on Friday in that first game in Sweden. I didn't win any of my props. I had a little bit of Pittsburgh. I had a little bit of the first period over. And once I lost everything in that game, every bet on that game, I've said, I'll be damned if I'm betting that Sunday morning game between these two teams. So you didn't miss anything as far as that's concerned.
I didn't even watch it. So you said you didn't even bet it. I
didn't watch it either. I mean, I'm doing some NFL show. Yeah, I should have been on Pitts. I did consider Pittsburgh again. I probably should have been on them, but oh well. We got 4 more games still to go through on this Sunday. We'll get to those in a minute. Obviously, it's another NFL Sunday, but don't forget about the Grey Cup. 112th CFL Grey Cup today, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's on CBS Sports Network for those of you in the United States. Don't forget about it. Give it the love and attention it deserves. It should be a good game. I don't know about the halftime show. The MGK. I know who MGK is, Machine Gun Kelly, but I can't say that the music's all that great. Yeah.
I'm not trying to spring a whole lot of money for that halftime show, huh?
Although I have heard that college football tune that ESPN's using of his, the run back, whatever that song is that they keep playing all the time. Yeah. I know that's his, but that's the halftime show. Grey Cup, looking forward to that later on today. Yesterday in the NHL was a up and down day when it could have been a massive monster day is the best way to describe it for me. I mean, we were this close with, the Montreal over streak getting snapped. The best bet was Toronto-Chicago over, the Leaf 13-game over streak, which you knew was going to end at some point. That getting snapped. Those 2 losses hurt. We did have 3 draw winners, and draw season rolls on. We had obviously the draw hitting for both me and Alex with Edmonton, Carolina, and with New Jersey, Washington, both of those games going past regulation. But I also had draws in Boston, Montreal, Toronto, Chicago, and the other one in that stretch was LA, Ottawa. And so close. 1-goal margins, all 3 of those games, just this close to getting to overtime. So even the draw bets we're losing right now, it's like we're so close. Other than Philly, Dallas. That's the one that was a no-sweat loser. Philly, Dallas. That one had no real shot of going to overtime. But just, quickly, because I want to pick up the pace on the Sunday shows when we do these. Tampa 3-1. Nice job by them bouncing back after the bad loss against the Rangers. Credit to them. 3-1 win in Florida yesterday. Great job. I was interested in Tampa a little bit in that game. And sure enough, they get the job done 3-1 there. Minnesota shuts out Anaheim 2-0. So maybe this is the start of the regression, the slump, whatever you want to call it, for the Anaheim Ducks. But shut out by the Minnesota Wild. Let's tip a cap to the Jesper Wallstedt, 28 save shutout for the Minnesota Wild in that game. And I thought one of his best, if not his best game I've ever seen him play at the NHL level. I thought he was very sound. He seemed to be in control. Had to make a couple of tougher saves as well during the course of that game. So, again, nice win there for Minnesota, 2-0 over the Anaheim Ducks. Then, as I mentioned, all the evening action, we had some close calls with some of the draws. We shit on the Buffalo Sabres a bit. Let's give them a little credit for a change. I mean, they're losing. They're riddled. They're on this long road trip. They're probably feeling some fatigue. They're down 4-1 at one point to the Detroit Red Wings last night. So easy to say, it's not our night, and here we go again, another loss. We got to give them a little credit, to come all the way back from 4-1 down and win 5-4 in overtime. Great, nice job by the Buffalo Sabres. Tage Thompson, I think that's one of the better games I've seen him play in a long time, whether it was out-muscling DeBrincat in overtime, just, basically swinging him, swatting him away like a gnat on the game-winning goal there, and finding Michael Samuelsson for the game winner. Matthias Samuelsson. I'm thinking of the former Red Wing, Michael Samuelsson. Matthias Samuelsson for the game winner. But Thompson had a goal before that. That's the Tage Thompson you want to see more often. Assertive, aggressive, playing with some physicality. And he had a really good game there for the Sabres. And what a win for them. Give them credit. That was a tough spot. Brutal loss on the flip side for Detroit. You can't lose that game, if you're the Detroit Red Wings. But lose it they did, 5-4. Edmonton 4-3 against Carolina. Nice win for the Oilers. Carolina, kind of a tough spot back-to-back after playing Vancouver the other night. So a nice win there for the Oilers. Boston 3-2 against Montreal. Swayman was great. The woes continue. What a tough homestand this has been for the Canadians. LA, Dallas, and now Boston. 3 straight losses at home for the Montreal Canadiens. How about New Jersey? Isn't it funny how hockey works? A lot of injuries. Jack Hughes, first game out with the freak accident, cutting his hand, and they rise up and they beat Washington. That's what it works. Everybody steps up first game without your star. And it seems like that happens a lot, hockey and basketball in particular. And it happened last night for New Jersey, but we cashed the draw in that game, Alex and I, with the Devils and the Caps. Another nice win at home for the Chicago Blackhawks as the woes continue for Toronto. 3-2 Chicago. Great job of just sticking with it, right? Didn't look like the game was going to go their way. They got the first goal. What a great first goal it was for them, too, as well. Ryan Green, a bargain bin special, a winner for Alex as we hit another bargain bin yesterday with that. But the Leafs tie it, late goal. That's the one thing I said in our group chat, that Chicago's got to stop giving up goals late in the periods like that. Those are momentum killers. They really are. And we saw Toronto. They carried the second period because they got the momentum of tying the game late in the first. Goals like that. They're backbreakers. They're momentum killers. And then, of course, Toronto, controversial, high stick, well, maybe not, but 2-1 as far as the Leafs taking the lead there. But good, resilient young group, because it looked like the game was starting to tilt toward Toronto, and they reeled it back in, tied it up in the third, and then, of course, got the game winner with just about 4 or 5 minutes left in regulation. Very nice win for Chicago. Hung on at the end. And if you're the Leafs, you didn't play that bad of a game. Joe Woll was pretty solid, if you ask me, overall on the night in his first game. But like I said, moral victories are not going to cut it for Toronto right now. You're going to start needing some points here, because your spot in the standings is getting more and more dubious by the day with each loss. So great win, though, for Chicago there in that one. We saw the Rangers get it done again against Columbus. So the Rangers all of a sudden starting to put a little win streak together. LA 1-0 and a snoozer against Ottawa there in that game. But Kings continue to be road warriors, playing great. Dallas pumps Philly 5-1. Tough spot for Philly, and they certainly played like it after being in St. Louis the night before. And speaking of St. Louis, we said Vegas might, use this road trip as a way to galvanize themselves, and they did last night. They were dominant. They were outshot St. Louis by like 35-15 were the shots at one point. But Vegas, meaning business, needing to get a win after a rough homestand, and they start their road trip with a dominant, convincing 4-1 win over the St. Louis Blues last night. And then in the late action, Winnipeg 4-3 shootout win against Calgary. Entertaining game that was, and disappointing from the San Jose shot. San Jose Seattle was one of the more maddening third periods I've seen. They had 1 million power plays. The puck's not bouncing, fanning on shots, missing the net, blocked shots by Seattle. Seattle defended quite well on the penalty kill, though. You can tell Lane Lambert's coaching that team. Lane Lambert has always done a good job coaching penalty killing units, including when he was with assistant with Toronto. I think they kind of missed Lane Lambert in Toronto because their penalty killing's not as good this year. But their penalty killing was very good last night against San Jose. San Jose had 1 million opportunities to get back into that game and just couldn't take advantage of it. And every little mistake San Jose made, an odd man rush they gave up, ended up in the back of the net against Nedeljkovic. So Seattle there, 4-1 win against San Jose last night. Alex, big Saturday card. Thoughts from you?
Yeah, huge Saturday card. And like you said, a lot of, we're seeing these close games continue to rise. And at one point, it had to be around maybe 8 o'clock, 8:15 Central Time, where all of the 6 o'clock games were tied. It was just incredible when you watch it.
My eyes lit up. I'm like, holy shit, man, we could be this could be payday here coming up in the next 30 minutes.
It was looking as if every game was going to go into OT and well into the third period. And to see, like I said, Chicago with a great resilient effort to get a goal late and break through. We saw a couple of draws that we cashed come in, like I said, Devils Capitals. That was a game where I felt like, with the Devils having that, like I said, next man up mentality, missing Hughes and kind of riding that momentum of the Chicago win, I felt like that was going to be another game of theirs that they could take in the OT, and they did. So that's now 5 in a row for New Jersey. Looking at the Edmonton and Carolina, it's another team. Edmonton now playing some real close games, and it's not necessarily that they're playing down the teams going to OT. That's a good Carolina team that they're hanging around with. It seems just everybody they match up with. They're just not really able to separate from teams. And we're talking about, somebody in the chat talked about this yesterday, but you can find value now within taking a side in regulation because of the fact that we're seeing more of these plays go into regulation. You have to be careful now, of course, picking little spots of which games do or don't go into overtime. But if you really like a game to end within 60, shop around, and if you're seeing where the draw is now at, plus 310, plus 300, you're going to see the prices balanced off, and add some value to one side or the other. So, that's where that opens up plus 1.5 bets. You've heard us talk about those when you see teams that are, minus 300, minus 350, minus 400. We haven't seen those teams that necessarily just blow their opponents out of the water yet. So you have some value still now grabbing plus 1.5 if you're laying minus 130 or less. So this draw season is creating other potential opportunities on the board besides just hitting the three ways and regulations. One note I wanted to make about with that Hawks game too, it was a clear high stick in that spot with the Maple Leafs. And with a team, a couple years ago, that younger group, that would have broke them mentally, and Toronto would have ran away with that game 5-2, 6-2. They stuck with it. Blashill, you could see him, he's turning about as red as his tie last night. He wanted to get all over the refs, but he held his composure, and the team went right with him. The more I watch him interact with the coaches, the more I watch him interact with the team, Michael Pekka as well, the way that they interact with this team is a lot more different than what we saw in the Richardson regime, in the Colton regime, in these regimes prior. That balance makes a difference, and you're seeing those results immediately on the ice, and you're seeing them keep their composure on the ice, and that's how they were able to win that game yesterday.
I was impressed with Jeff Blashill in his Chicklets interview, which I finally saw on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought he came across very well in that. A lot of good thoughts, a lot of good observations about not only the team he's got this year, his first year as head coach, but hearing about what he heard about Bedard and some of his players from past seasons, and then just saying, you know what, blank canvas, clean slate, let me see it for myself before rushing to any judgments. And like I said, he came across very well, and you got to give him credit. I'll be the first to admit, was Jeff Blashill my number one choice to be the head coach of this team? No. But I'll tell you what, he's done a nice job early, and I like what he's been certainly able to get this team to be a more structured group, play more as a unit on the ice, and at the same time still allow those young kids to show their talent, show their skill, be creative with the puck. That's a very delicate balance to walk as a head coach. The defensive discipline with still not handcuffing their ability to be creative with the puck. Yeah. And right now, I think they've got a nice balance and blend of that now, the Chicago Blackhawks.
And it is unfortunate to see Nick Foligno suffer the hand injury. Yes. He's now going to be out 4 weeks. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not the worst injury in the world.
Yeah.
It's 4 weeks. He'll still be able to skate. He'll still be around the team. And his biggest asset and value at this point in his career is being around the guys, being on the bench, being in that locker room, being there at practice. He actually frees up now a forward spot with Landon Slaggert being up with the team, Oliver Moore being up with the team. You actually now have some wiggle room with the forwards, where having Foligno in a suit for the next 4 weeks isn't the worst of things in the grand scheme. He'd been Mr. Cardio, other than leading this team for the last, couple of weeks. So, it just sucks. You hope he gets better, and hopefully that the hand will be all right. But like I said, this now gives the Hawks some room, and it gives them time to evaluate a couple of guys too, because Slaggert could be a trade piece at some point. Moore could possibly be a guy that you throw in if you're talking about getting a big-time return back in a trade. Now giving these guys some consistent time in the lineup for the next couple of weeks, get to see what they really have and where they can slide into this role, not just for now, but for the future.
Yeah, no doubt. That's actually a good call, Nick Foligno. A little resemblance to the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, they were each other for Halloween. That was a really cool thing. Like Nick Sirianni actually was trick or treating with his kids wearing a Hawks 17 jersey, and then I guess the last couple of years, Foligno 1 year for a party went as Sirianni dressed in Eagles gear, and his wife was dressed as the Lombardi Trophy. So that's pretty funny how they did that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. They definitely recognized that there was a resemblance between the two of them. No question about that. All right, great stuff. All right, on to Sunday. We got 4 games on tap. Oh, we do want to remind you, we'll mention this again later in the show as well. There it is, Ice Guys NHL live betcast, Tuesday night, couple nights away, November 18th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We are definitely looking forward to that. Again, should be great. Like I said, always fun when we're doing the live betcasts. 7 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday night, DM or email either of us for a spot on the betcast. Live betting, just shooting the shit, lots of fun. We always get something that makes us laugh at some point during the night as well on the betcasts here as well with a great group of people. So make sure you join us Tuesday night. Looking forward to our November free-for-all live betcast. And remember, we've got another betcast later in November for our Patreon members only, an exclusive Patreon-only betcast, which will be coming up later in the month of November as well. All right, we'll start with Vancouver and Tampa Bay. We've got Tampa Bay minus 180 home favorite, 6.5 the total in this game. Back-to-back for the Lightning rather, after playing the Panthers yesterday and getting a 3-1 win in that game. What was impressive to me too about the Panthers the Lightning win against the Panthers yesterday was, again, finding a way to win with all the artillery out of the lineup. You know, they didn't have Hedman, they didn't have Cirelli, they didn't have Hagel, McDonough and Paul remain out. So a lot of key pieces missing. The same players that were out against the Rangers when they got blasted by New York at home, and to find a way to just pull one out there against the Florida Panthers, 3-1 yesterday. Nice win, gutsy win, gut check win for the Lightning, given how decimated and depleted they are right now. We'll see how they fare here on the back-to-back. Definitely is a bit of a spot advantage here for the Vancouver Canucks, coming off a 4-3 overtime loss to the Carolina Hurricanes. Tampa Bay 9-1 in the last 10 meetings here between these two teams. So it's been quite a show of dominance for the Tampa Bay Lightning in head-to-head games versus the Vancouver Canucks in recent years. The only thing I really like here is Tampa Bay had gone, I believe, 4 games in a row to the over in the first period until yesterday. That streak got snapped yesterday, and the Canucks are on a bit of a mini short-term first period overheater right now. So first period over, I sprinkled on that. Not really much other than that. I mean, I do think I did consider Vancouver, but they do have a spot advantage. It's tough back-to-back for Tampa. They're still banged up, but I don't know if I trust Vancouver enough to pull the trigger. I lean Canucks plus 150, but as of now, no bet. Alex, what do you think here, Vancouver, Tampa Bay?
Yeah, it's going to be a live look for me, but as you said, I'm seeing the trends with the first period over, so I'll take a shot pregame with both teams to score in the first period, plus 144, and then try and get either minus $1.10 or better with that first period over. I'm seeing $1.45 to $1.50, so just wait a few minutes, grab a better price for the first period over, but grab both teams to score pregame. Plus 144 is available at FanDuel.
Kevin Lankinen, and you should see Jonas Johansson. Probably, I'm very confident it's Jonas Johansson for Tampa Bay because Vasilevsky started yesterday. So, and the Nucks did look good, Bailey, against the Hurricanes. I agree. As someone that had Carolina team total over, I know. They played pretty good game. Now they did get outshot by a wide margin, but Carolina does that to everybody. They hung in there though. We'll see. Again, both teams banged up. That's another thing. I'm only on first period over for now. I want to see who's in for Tampa. Do they get Cirelli, Hagel, Hedman, any of those guys back? Not to mention Vancouver, Phil Hronek and Quinn Hughes, day to day on their blue line. So they've got some concerns from an injury standpoint here as well going into this game. As far as props, we talk about it. Kiefer Sherwood, Connor Garland on the top line might be worth a look. He's certainly been Linus Karlsson birthday, says Jonathan Davis. Yeah, he's only playing on the fourth line, but the birthday bet, prop bet, is kind of been a thing. Atu Ratu's getting more time as well on the centering the third line for Vancouver. And again, Tampa Bay, you just can't bet props until you know for sure what the lineup's going to look like. One thing I know is that with the injuries, let's say it stays the way it did, Zemgus Girgensson got moved up with Point and Kucherov. So if none of these guys come back, Zemgus Girgensson might be on that top line, and that could be some value with his props today here for Tampa Bay. All right, Vegas and Minnesota. We've got Vegas minus 125, road favorites, 6 the total. No draw on that one, hell. No draw on that one, Vancouver and Tampa Bay. This one I do have a small sprinkle on the draw here, Vegas and Minnesota. This is a tricky one. I really think there's legitimate momentum now for Vegas. They needed a win, get on the road, get away from home, focus on business, focus on bouncing back. They did that 4-1 win against St. Louis. They could easily roll that momentum from that victory into this game here against Minnesota. That would not shock me. But it is Minnesota getting a crack at Vegas for the first time since getting bounced in the playoffs last year in the first round by the Vegas Golden Knights. Odd start time, yes, 3 p.m. local in Las Vegas, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central in Minnesota for this game. Vegas, like I said, the draw, definitely I'm going to sprinkle on that. I think we've got the potential here for a little bit of overtime. Goaltenders for this game as of now, we're looking at Philip Gustafsson for Minnesota, Carl Lindbaum, probably going to get the start here for Vegas on the back-to-back after we saw Akira Schmid last night. Lindbaum 0-3, 3.29 goals against, .869 save percentage, so not the greatest of numbers. And again, this team has not won a Lindbaum start yet this season, Vegas. So that's what would concern me, even though Vegas, I like the momentum of getting a win on the road trip to begin it yesterday to snap the skid they had on the homestand. Don't know if I want to lay a price with them on the road in this spot, considering it's Lindbaum and considering, again, Minnesota is the team that bounced them in the first round last year. So I'd expect Minnesota to want to put a good performance there as well. Try to build on that 2-0 win. It's a step in the right direction. I thought Wallstead was pretty solid. Like I said, we'll see if they can build on that. But as of right now, the only thing I've got pregame is a small draw bet. Nothing else besides that at the moment. First period over, maybe. We've talked about that all season with Vegas, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it as much here with this particular game. Alex, what do you think? Vegas, Minnesota.
No, I did grab this first period over pregame. I'm minus 125 at Caesars. Anything higher than $1.35, I would wait a little bit and try and grab a better pricing game. But I feel like this could be up and down early, and that's why I'm staying off of the side right now too. I lean with Vegas, but like you said, they just haven't been giving Lindbaum the goal support and giving him the push to get a win. He's got to make some bigger saves too. He's got to come up big too. Minnesota, I worry about them coming off of such a big win. That was huge. Wallstead, like I said, looking fantastic. You know, we kind of called him out a little bit a couple of weeks ago, but he has really sharpened things up his last couple of starts, getting with three wins, 2 shutouts. I think he's only allowed 2 goals in total. He's made 98 saves in the last 100 shots he's faced. So that's pretty damn good. Looking more like the prospect that everybody had touted him to be. But like I said, you know, now with Gustafsson coming back in, can they keep that momentum? I kind of worry about it. So I think we'll see goals early, but I want to see more what happens in this game before I make any more bets.
All right. Yeah, as far as props go, I told you, stick with Braden Bowman. And I didn't use him as bargain bin, but I did bet him, and I did mention it. Braden Bowman, and he gets his first NHL goal against St. Louis last night. He now was moved up to the line with Eichel and Cloche, Barbashev, Marner, Hurdle, and Dorofeyev, a bit of a new-look second line for Vegas. So I'm riding the express here with Braden Bowman and Barbashev, for that matter. Both those guys to find the back of the net here for props for the Vegas Golden Knights. On the Minnesota side of things, really, as far as, you know, they've had a hard time scoring goals. They haven't been scoring a bunch lately, but I'm seeing Ryan Hartman might be put with Kaprizov here for the Minnesota Wild. It looks like a top-line opportunity potentially for him. So, and Ryan Hartman definitely, like I said, if he gets that slot on the top line, props for me for him in this game are definitely going to be well worth a look. All right, Detroit Red Wings, New York Rangers. We've got the Rangers minus 140, home favorites, 6 the total here in this game. Terrible loss for the Detroit Red Wings. I mean, my goodness, at home 4-1 against Buffalo. You got to win that hockey game. And I give Buffalo credit. No quit, coming back, finding a way. That's a brutal loss for the Red Wings. That can't happen. So you would think they're going to be in a pretty ornery mood here going on the road against the Rangers here at Madison Square Garden. So handicapping 101 is minus 140 favorite with a team that still, I know they finally won a home game against Nashville early this week. but that was only their first home win of the season. But handicapping 101 for me when both teams are on the back-to-back is that I would rather have the team off the loss at a plus price, especially the kind of loss Detroit had, rather than laying minus 140 with the team feeling good about themselves off a win like they had last night against Columbus. That being said, the Rangers have owned Detroit. There's no sugarcoating it whatsoever. They have absolutely owned the Red Wings in the head-to-head series, 7 straight wins. The Rangers have beaten them here at MSG. They've beaten them at the Pizza Box, Little Caesars Arena. So that's my only hesitation here with getting involved in the Red Wings. Not to mention Rangers are playing better, and they are 3-0 with Vinny Trocheck back in the lineup. He has made a significant difference for the New York Rangers. That's one of the main catalysts as to why they're starting to win and why they're starting to score some goals as well. He just, the center ice position is just paltry for them when he's out. Now he's back, and suddenly everyone's in their proper spot. He gives even Lafreniere and Cooley even more punch on that second line, and it almost feels like with Trocheck back, it's even led to Panarin, Zibanejad, and Miller, that top line, playing better for the New York Rangers. So, yeah, I mean, I hate to disappoint everybody, but as of right now, there's actually a complete no bet. I do have a couple props, but side or total, complete no bet. We expect Cam Talbot and Jonathan Quick to be the netminders here in this game tonight. Not a surprise because Shesterkin played last night for the New York Rangers against Columbus, and we saw John Gibson last night against Buffalo for Detroit. So Talbot, Smith, Talbot and Quick, I should say, makes sense here that would be the matchup in net. What do you think here, Alex? Red Wings, Rangers.
I feel like this is going to be a tight and close battle. And I know, like I said, the Rangers have finally got the offense rolling, but that was on the road. They translate this into action at home? Is the case. I'm not so sure. So I took the draw plus 340. I do feel like they can get the win here. So I did take a shot with JT Miller to get the overtime game winner. I got that at 70-1 over at FanDuel.
There we go. And like I said, you've cashed a couple of those so far this season in that regard. Okay, yeah, prop-wise, like I said, Cooley, Lafreniere, Trocheck, that line I'm interested because they've played well since being put together once Trocheck came back in the lineup for the New York Rangers. So certainly interested with some props for them in this game. So definitely that stands out to me. Like I said, we're going to have to wait, to see exactly what the lineup confirmations are, the lineup combos are. But entering this game, Lucas Raymond's on a 3-game point streak. The Breadman's on a 3-game point streak. Larkin, Zibanejad. Adam Fox is on a 3-game point streak from the blue line for the New York Rangers. And that's not surprising. They've won 3 in a row, and Adam Fox has had at least a point. Yeah, this was my I have one draw bet on the card for sure tonight, and it's the next game, so I've basically given it away. But this game, I did consider it. This was close to me betting the draw, but the only concern I have is that Red Wings, the Rangers have lately not been as involved in as much overtime, and his head-to-head wise, there's been no recent history of overtime games between these two teams. That being said, it wouldn't totally shock me if this goes to overtime. Certainly wouldn't shock me if this next game goes to overtime. New York Islanders and Colorado Avalanche. We've got Colorado minus 270, home favorites. The total here sitting at 6.5 in this game. This is one of those games where definitely let's talk about the Islanders first. They're playing good. They've got confidence. Matthew Schaefer is a rock star right now for this hockey team. What he continues to do on a regular basis, it's been something else. Leading defenseman in the NHL as far as goals on the season. Like I said, it's been a real impressive start to his rookie campaign. The Islanders have now won 4 games in a row, and they've done it against some pretty good teams too. Maybe not so much Rangers, but New Jersey, Vegas, Utah is tough on home ice. And that was a brutal spot. Second game of back-to-back for the New York Islanders, and they still found a way to win in Utah in overtime in that game. So the Islanders have confidence. If you're Colorado, you got to be ready to play this game. And Colorado, we know, has been phenomenal of late. 7-1 their last 8. 5-game win streak. 2-0 on this homestand so far. Wins against Anaheim and Buffalo. But the Islanders have been a very, very surprisingly feisty team. Their goal-scoring prowess has gone up. Ilya Sorokin in net is starting to play better. And John Massey remarked on it that he's starting to make some more high-danger saves, which is good to see. saves that maybe he's not supposed to make. He's making those saves right now for the New York Islanders. Sorokin's projected but not confirmed in net. Scott Wedgwood, of course, back in net here for the Colorado Avalanche in this game. You look at the recent series history, too, and I remember this, talking Islanders and Avs head-to-head last year, talking about how it's just, for some reason, and this is even before the Islanders turned into more of an over team this year. Prior to this year, these teams had often been, back and forth in a lot of high-scoring games. 3 of the 4 games, all 4 games went over in the full game. 4-0 to the over the last 4 head-to-head meetings. 3 of the 4 cashed first-period overs as well. So I'm on over by Fecta here. Over 1.5, over 6.5. 3 of the last 4 meetings over first period have cashed. 4 straight full game over has cashed between these two teams. And I'm on the draw here. I do like this draw. I think it's got potential here. The Islanders have also been a bit of a thorn in the Avs side. The Isles beat them twice in both meetings last year. 5-2 on the Island, 6-2 here in Denver. The Islanders went 2-0 against the Avs. And then before that, the games in Colorado, 5-4 overtime win for the Avs and a 1-0 shootout win for the Avs. So the draw, and I am awfully tempted by the Islanders riding this wave at plus 220, but I'm kind of on the fence with that one because Colorado is right now playing some great hockey. Their offense has been good. The power play is dynamic. But at this price, I am very much tempted by the New York Islanders. Maybe I grab a little small piece prior to puck drop on this Islanders team, given the win streak, given their ability to, step up here on this road trip, beat teams like Vegas and Utah in particular, and Utah in a brutal spot. Let's not forget that. It's not only beating Utah, where Utah's played well at home, but on a back-to-back after beating Vegas the night before. So at plus 220, I might dabble in the Islanders here for a small bet, but also draw and over by Fecta. Alex, what do you think here? Islanders, Avs.
So I like the over trifecta, but I'm betting, once again, both teams to score. Pre-game, you can grab that plus 148. I'll be waiting for a little bit better of a price because I'm not laying 150, 155 for that first period over. And I want to try and grab a 6 rather than a 6.5 with the full game over. But I did grab the draw as well. Plus 370. I see a plus 375 out there as well. You can grab for the best price available. Because, like I said, even with seeing some of these wins, they've been close 1-goal games back and forth, except the Isles haven't made it easy over the years against the Avs. So draw and then the over trifecta for me.
There you go. Over trifecta and the draw for Alex here with the Islanders and the Avs. As far as how do we not keep going with Emil Heineman? I mean, we've talked about him forever and ever, playing with Horvat and Palmieri. We got a couple of situations here as well for these teams, as far as we've got former players now going against their former team. And we got Brock Nelson for the Colorado Avalanche getting to play against the New York Islanders here after being a longtime member of the New York Islanders. So you got to look toward Brock Nelson, and you got to look toward Jonathan Drouin, I think, for Colorado. Jonathan Drouin, albeit briefly a member of the New York Islanders, but he did spend some time there with the New York Islanders organization now, or actually with Colorado, now a member of the New York Islanders organization. So Drouin for the Islanders against his old team, Colorado, and of course Brock Nelson for Colorado against his old team, the Islanders. So I think both of them probably worth a look here as far as goal props tonight. Drouin for the Islanders, Brock Nelson for the Avs. And yes, Heineman's birthday too. Wow. Geez. I mean, as if we didn't need any more reason, Jonathan, to take Emil Heineman. He's been great. What a nice find. I mean, he's just a guy that's been a depth forward in Montreal before arriving with the Islanders, and yet he's found success and instant chemistry with Bo Horvat on that top line. Sometimes it's just, the right pieces that sometimes fit on certain lines, and chemistry can develop. And boy, has that ever been the case with Emil Heineman, no doubt. So like I said, riding the wave that is Emil Heineman and the goal props. And again, like I said, he's been terrific. 2 straight games with a goal. He's 3 of the last 5 he's scored, and he scored in almost 40% of all of the New York Islander games this year. Heineman. So yeah. And Brindley's the other one I would take a look at for a goal. And Schaefer, you're still getting plus 550. And he scored now in back-to-back games for this Islanders team. Of course, he had the game winner against Utah the other night. He had a power play goal against Vegas in the first period of their win against the Golden Knights. So again, Matthew Schaefer, still north of plus 500 for him to score. And as we're seeing lately with him, the phenomenal rookie, he is not hesitating to shoot the puck right now. So yeah, Matthew Schaefer is probably still worth a look as far as a goal prop tonight in this game. All right, great stuff. Thanks to everyone in the chat for joining us on a Sunday. We appreciate it very much. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Check out wizardsportspicks.com and also check out the YouTube channel. Of course, Sundays is one of the 2 days each week I do the Beyond the Lines daily video hit for the Wizard Sports Picks YouTube channel. You can check that out there. Get on board. Premium picks, free plays daily on the website. I'm there, Alex B. Smith, Matt Robinson, and a great roster of handicappers. Make sure you check it out, wizardsportspicks.com. And make sure you check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/Ice Guys, $10 per month. Again, goalie charts, totals charts, bonus content. We will have a Patreon exclusive, members only, live betcast later in November. Date to be announced. That's coming up, though. So make sure you get on board before that. And, of course, our daily betting card gets posted each and every day. Sides, totals, player props every day posted on the page. So make sure you check it out. Again, your subscription goes a long way to supporting the show and keeping us rolling long term. So get on board, $10 per month over at patreon.com/Ice Guys.
And also check out the Ice Guys store at iceguys.myspreadshop.com. You have until midnight Eastern tonight to save 20% off of all items in the store. Just go to the iceguys.myspreadshop.com, click on the redeem button at the top of the page, add all of your items to your cart, and 20% will be taken off at checkout. We've got some new designs up as well. Definitely want to check out the store and save 20% off. You have until midnight Eastern at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
Good stuff. Get on board for that sale before it expires. All right, bargain bin special of the night and best bets coming up right after we hear from our great Ice Guy sponsor.
Wizard Sports Picks, featuring the finest handicappers in the universe. Sharp insights, trusted picks, and relentless results. We strive to help you become consistent winners. This is Wizard Sports Picks.
Kings and Queens shop.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including Royal Cannabis over at royalcannabisshop.com. 20% off with promo code ICEGUYS. All right, bargain bin special of the night. We had another one courtesy of Alex B. Smith last night with Ryan Green of the Chicago Blackhawks. We'll see if we can add to it tonight on this Sunday slate. Alex, what do you think for bargain bin special of the night?
Yeah, let's head up the street to Grand Casino Arena, and we're actually going to go with another Ryan. It is in Ryan Hartman, moving up from the third line to the first line. I have two plays involving him. I like him anytime goal scorer. You get that as high as plus 330. That's the best price I see available over at DraftKings. But I also like him to get 2 points in the contest. Shout out to Aaron in the chat. He mentions that he has had 4 assists in his last 6 games against Vegas. So we're going with 2 points. You can get that plus 700 over at FanDuel. So Ryan Hartman, anytime goal scorer, plus 330. Ryan Hartman, 2 points or more, plus 700. Those are my bargain bin specials for this Sunday night.
All right, great stuff. I like that one, Ryan Hartman. I'm going to go with, I got to do it. I'm going with 3 bargain bin specials, and I'm doing it all from the same game, the New York Islanders and the Colorado Avalanche. They're all good. They're all worthy, and I don't want to leave any of them off.
Right, line them up. What are they?
Emil Heineman, obviously. Birthday, and he's red hot. Emil Heineman, New York Islanders, plus 450. Jonathan Drouin for the Islanders, going back to Denver to face his former team, the Avs, plus 450, same price. And the third one is going to be the former Islander, longtime Islander, now with Colorado, Brock Nelson, plus 320. So there you go. I really think we can hit one for sure. I actually think there's a chance. Now, again, we got to have things break right. The goal's got to go in. The puck's got to go in at the end of the day. But I think there's a chance we could even hit two of these, tonight. That's how good I feel about them.
But we are going to take some money and parlay it and bet all three, right?
Well, I think I might. I think I definitely am. Round robin them, which I know our guy Aaron, Bruins fan in the chat, Aaron, our good friend, has been doing that. And I'm hitting some big ones, my goodness, with a couple of those goal prop round robins, no doubt. So, 3 bargain bin specials, and all of them in that Isles-Avs game. So just to recap, Emil Heineman, New York Islanders, plus 450. Jonathan Drouin, New York Islanders, plus 450. Brock Nelson, Colorado, plus 320. There you have it. Let's see if we can get one. I think there's a real chance we can get two of these, honestly. I like them. Let's go.
I like it.
Bargain bin special of the night with confidence. All right, best bets for Sunday. Alex, what do you like for best bet?
Draw season continues to roll on, and I like it to happen in Manhattan tonight. Give me Detroit and the New York Rangers draw plus 340. That's my Sunday best bet.
Isles Avs over 6.5. I mean, we got 4 straight overs in the series history. 3 of the 4. I like the first period over at 2. 3 of the 4 have gone over in the first, but I'm going to go with the full game. Again, a 4-0 full game over streak head-to-head between the Islanders and the Avs. So over 6.5, minus 102, actually plus 102 at a book there with the full game over here. So New York Islanders, Colorado Avalanche, over 6.5, plus 102 for my best bet here for this Sunday card. Shout out to everyone in the chat, hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Great show once again. Great week, and looking forward to a brand new week. Tomorrow, the show, as it is on Mondays during the college football season, approximately 3:30 p.m. Eastern start tomorrow for the show. So make sure you join us then. And one last time, make sure you're with us for the Ice Guys live betcast Tuesday night, November 18th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Looking forward to it. Our free-for-all betcast for the month of November on Tuesday night this week. So make sure you DM or email me or Alex for a spot on the betcast, and we'll make sure you have the link when we go live Tuesday night.
Ian, you mentioned the Grey Cup earlier at the top of the show. You got a pick for that game?
Yeah, I've got futures on both teams preseason. Montreal and Saskatchewan. It was my preseason Grey Cup pick. I like both teams to get there, but if you were to ask me if you didn't have futures, who would you bet at the current number 3.5? I'd say Montreal plus 3.5. 3 of the last 4 Grey Cups, the underdog is cashed. Both division finals last week were decided by a field goal, exactly 3 points. So it wouldn't shock me to see another game decided by 3. And Montreal's quarterback, he does have a hamstring issue, but I think it's going to be okay for him to play. He is undefeated as a CFL starting quarterback, Davis Alexander, for the Montreal Alouettes. So hard to lay points against that. Let's put it that way.
Take a shot with him, MVP, maybe?
Yeah, certainly if Montreal plays well, he's probably going to have a big part in it. No question. He'd be a good CFL MVP, Grey Cup MVP candidate. Looking forward. CBS Sports Network if you want to watch it in the U.S. A reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the games and good luck. NFL and Grey Cup and NHL. And we'll see you tomorrow on Monday at approximately 3:30 p.m. Eastern time for another edition of the Ice Guys.